That's a Shame is brought to you by the people who support us over at patreon.com/shamecity.
If you have $1,
$2.
$1 to spare, join us again at patreon.com/shamecity. Please.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Hello and welcome to episode 174 of That's a Shame. I'm Isaac. This is a free episode, by the way. I meant to say that at the start, but I didn't, because it's not on my mind, that kind of thing. Commerce, it's not for me.
You've drawn attention to it now, though.
Well, you know, if that happens and if people think about that, then that's on them. I didn't do that.
You've screwed the pooch on that.
How's it? Don't use that phrase. How's it going? Delk.
Not
Delkin.
No.
Bum.
I'm waiting until you get it right, thank you.
Declan. Just won't say your surname because you're a professional now. How's it going?
Not too bad, thank you. I am
Good.
tired.
Why's that?
I've started a
life.
new job,
Are you at
and it
liberty to say
requires
what it
me.
is?
Well, I am a teacher
Go on. Of?
the mathematical arts.
And that was you're inspired by the Imagiporium episode to
No,
become
nothing of the sort.
to become a master of a certain art.
That's
form.
not correct. But yeah, what it means is that I have to wake up in the mornings. I have to work during the days.
Oh, no.
I have to be something of a responsible adult in the evenings.
Do you?
The weekends,
I've not noticed that part.
you can be as licentious as you like.
Can you? I don't know if that's true, and in fact, I'm certain it's not.
I'll
'Cause
have
if I
to-
were to film any of your acts,
I will have to check the teaching standards again,
Check
but
the
I'm
manual.
pretty sure.
Now, look, we've had a run of powerful episodes, and I'm going to say this up front. I'm not
didn't-
afraid to say it's going to be one hell of an episode today.
You didn't say how you're doing, really.
I'm always great.
Oh, you're always
10
great.
out of 10. Soaring, flying. There's not a star in heaven that
You
we
took a
can't
rare
reach.
excursion away from the flat,
I
didn't
did.
you?
I went over to Edinburgh in Scotland, where all the Scottish people are.
And you did some mountaineering, I
I
hear.
climbed Arthur's Seat like nobody's business. Lots of people think they've climbed that seat, and I'm here to say they haven't, because it's a fucking long way. And lots of people are like, oh my god, yeah, we were at the club and then we just climbed Arthur's Seat to watch the sunrise. No, you didn't. You climbed a hill. You did not climb Arthur's
You climbed
Seat.
a hill and you sort of looked up at Arthur's Seat and went, well, I am sort of here.
Because it does take a while, and you could not do it in the dark. At least the route we did, which was the purple route, the scary route for cool guys, cool
Yeah,
everyone.
exactly.
It's very steep. Little dogs love it. They can just run past you, sort of showing you up, and showing themselves off. But no, everyone else takes a while, takes some time. But you do see right into the distance of what God painted for us.
He's come back as a kind of Bear Grylls-ian figure.
I've
He's
grown a huge beard.
drinking piss. He's living it large. He's talking about the spirits that live within the trees.
Yeah, there's loads of those.
And we haven't got most of it out of him, and we don't know how long it's going to last.
I've always been a deeply countryside kind of guy. You know
have
that
not.
about me. Hate the place. Now look, I was on a big roll of saying just what a roll the show's been on lately. We've had Wednesday bonus content like clockwork. Even when I wasn't in the country, at least the England part of the country, it still came out because we
very
did
good,
this thing.
isn't it?
Now you might want to try this at home if you've got any projects or deadlines. Do it in advance. Now that's new to us.
It was really new. We found a tip somewhere. I think you found it on the dark web.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I had to. Well, it wasn't the dark web so much. It was like the cream web. It's sort of between the two because I don't know how you get on the dark web. I haven't found that door yet. But when you're fondling around in the dark and you're just grabbing any door handles you find on the web, this one opened and it was sort of a beige web.
Yeah.
And there was just the one tip and it said do it in advance. Now I didn't know what that was referring to. then.
Will you be applying it to other areas of your life?
No, I won't.
I don't think so.
Because I think, well, you wouldn't want to spread that advice too thinly.
No, if you're doing
on
everything in
Lurpak.
advance, you're just as busy as you would have been.
And like what's left to do tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Like I've got to keep every day busy.
Yeah, you want to.
You know me, I love to.
You want these days to be filled.
Exactly. And so all those episodes have been coming out. They've been greatly received. Particular vibes in the kind of Boglin episode that you portrayed a Boglin. Now, I know you've been riding that high for quite some time, that feedback high, and you're chomping at the bit, as you love to say, for the next visit to the Porium. Can we expect that today? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, but that just means that it's coming later.
Yeah, not next
to look
week.
forward to.
Because next week is going to be the ever pushed back Bob Honey episode, which I haven't been able to put together because of the twin factors of A, having been working,
Yeah.
and B, having made too many notes because it is, and I can't stress this enough,
really
so
good.
very bad.
Oh no, that's a shame. And you're not worried about having spoiled that the rest is bad?
No, I trust enough in our listeners to have made that correct judgment themselves already.
That's fair. So today, I understand that you've brought something for us. Is it an anecdote?
It's not an anecdote.
Okay, that's
no.
fine. That's fine. I know there's one coming.
Yeah.
You've got to let them brew and percolate.
Exactly.
What's it going to be?
It's gonna be a goddamn quiz.
He thinks he's a girl and shoots eggs from his mouth.
As we all know, the Mario games have been terrifying and delighting audiences since the release of the first Superb Mario Bros. Game back in the 60s. Since then, we have been introduced to a smorgasbord of carnival freaks, all of whom inhabit the haunted and deeply sexual land known as the Mushrooms Kingdom.
Sexual?
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Known as the Mushrooms Kingdom. But one thing that nobody ever gets to ask these days, the last taboo, many have called it, is which Mario character are you? So we're here to end that today with a quiz that will blow your goddamn socks off. So buckle up, folks, by which I mean Isaac.
Because we're going to find out which one you are.
Because here we go. We're going to find out who you are.
Oh, I don't like to be the subject of a quiz because
I
it feels
know.
vain. And I'm not about that.
It's okay.
I have no
because-
ego.
It's okay because you're going to be.
I know that it's probably Mario who I am.
Well, we'll see.
And
won't
so,
we?
like, that would be a shame because people
We'll
would just be
see.
like, it's a shame that he's just the best one, they'll say.
Well, like, you may well turn out to be. That is a possibility.
I might even be like Miyamoto, like the god of Mario.
Now, you may well be, but you won't be after this quiz
Oh.
because it's not one of the options.
Okay, well, don't spoil
Well, no,
my
so-
experience
so-
by limiting it off.
No, so what I'm going to say is that obviously, like, whoever wrote this quiz, this was found
Where'd you
on
find this?
bigquiz.com.
Let me just have a search of that. What was it?
Bigquiz.com.
Is there any punctuation?
No, that's it. You've got it
Bigquiz.com.
exactly right there.
Una, Ola, Okay. This
Yep.
is an all-inclusive surf camp packages website.
Yes.
So you found a Mario quiz.
Well, they
on a
do.
website
They
that
do some
offers
kind of like
beginning surfing lessons, intermediate surf coaching, and surf tour packages for all surfing skill.
on the like on some of their like
where do I
back
find it
pages.
on
It's
there?
kind of recreational because obviously nobody can
Hell,
go.
It costs $1,000 to learn to surf.
Fucking hell! In Costa Rica though.
Oh no! Look, $55 here.
Oh, there we go. That's,
Video
that's the one we want.
feedback. Is it over Zoom?
He's kind of dressed like Marios. That one.
Okay, and you just find it on here.
Well, it was kind of it was because it was some content that they put up. They might have taken it down.
There's a contact
I found
form
it a
here,
while
so
ago.
shall I just send a
Yeah,
message?
just send them a
about
message. They put it up for
Where
because nobody
is-
could surf during lockdown.
The Mario quiz, please.
Yeah.
Subject.
Well, you don't need it because I've got it. I've got it
Emergency.
saved. I saved it into a Google Doc. So I
No,
can
but just in
forward it on.
case some of the listeners want to try it out, so they know.
Well,
which
what I was
Mario
thinking,
character
we
they
could
are.
probably put it on the website.
Oh no, I won't. No need to duplicate content because
Well-
we can't steal their stuff.
I'll send them an email, see if they'll share the rights with us.
Okay, cool.
So there's obviously they couldn't. Their speciality is surfing, right?
Yeah, well, I
so
see that
they
from their
couldn't.
entirely surfing-based website.
They weren't able to create.
Unaola.com. One wonders why they've bought bigquiz.com to redirect to
Well,
their
I
surfing
think it's
site.
because that's what they're doing at the moment, aren't they? Like during
They're
while
gonna
the world
pivot.
is locked down. Yeah.
Ah, so they're doing an outdoor sport while we're on lockdown and then quizzes the rest of the time.
No, they know that they're doing quizzes now. So people
they're
are
not,
like,
though.
oh, I'll go bigquiz.com and then it takes them here and it's just one of the back pages. You could probably find it if you look
Okay,
hard enough.
I don't know about back pages.
So what I found is that they weren't able to build one that incorporated all of the characters
Oh,
from the
that's
Mario universe.
disappointing, 'cause-
So I know, but so what they've done is
Yeah.
there are 4 main characters.
Yeah, that's true.
Who you could be, and they kind of encompass
Mario,
most of them.
Luigi, Peach, and Toad.
And then there are
Probably.
like little bits in between some of the questions where they've done like a retrospective, like here are some of the other characters that we've
you're
all
not.
know and love.
Okay.
So
Quite a weird
so we'll get
format
some of those.
for a quiz.
Well, like I said, they're only just starting out with this.
You seem to know a lot about these guys. Are you?
I just had
Freelancing
I had a
with them.
quick check. They haven't paid me yet, but yes.
That doesn't surprise me. Sounds like most of your writing work.
Question number 1.
Uh-huh.
When you find yourself besieged by enemies, it can be tough knowing what to do.
Fucking, you're right.
If you were being attacked right now, would you A, stomp on that bastard's head, stat?
Uh-huh.
B, whip out your matches and an aerosol can, you're getting burned, punk.
Oh, God.
C, cry for help, brackets, pretty soy boy if you ask me.
That seems
Or
unfair.
D, cackle your opponent into a fearful paralysis.
Ah, okay. So let me just think about them. Stomping, for me, is not an option. I don't have a lot of heft behind my stomp. And also, as I've probably talked about before on the podcast, because it sort of lives in the back of my skull, rattling around like a 2p in the back of a like letterbox. That scene in, what's the film where someone gets curb stomped? Is it American History X?
Quite possibly, yeah.
It lives in my head in such vivid detail that I would not,
You couldn't
on
inflict
principle,
that.
stomp on anyone's head. Like, I
Not
couldn't
even,
do it.
not even Hitler.
Not even Hitler. I would not stomp
Wow.
on Hitler's head. I would feel awful to have stomped on someone's head because I think the sound of teeth on... Because obviously I have put their mouth on the cup first.
So you're going to put their mouth there anyway, but then actively not stomp on
That's
it.
quite a good idea because I could give them the illusion of stomping.
Instills the fear.
Which actually is still illegal because assault is just about making people think you're going to stomp their head rather than actually doing it. I wouldn't do that though. Option B sounds like it requires a lot of prep in terms of like having shit on you. And look at me, I like to travel light. What have I got?
You do.
I've got keys with a key ring.
Any
from
kind of
Spring
like
Farm
matches
alpacas.
on there?
A fob, did you say, for the...
No.
I don't have any way of starting a fire. I also do not believe in aerosols. And I won't qualify that.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair enough.
Option 3, remind me what
It was cry for help, brackets, pretty soy boy, if you ask me.
I mean, in my current situation, you're already in the room. So if I were to be attacked, I would assume help was imminent. So there's no need for me to be crying out.
I can't say either way, really.
I'm sure you'd be helping me out though, because obviously,
as the questioner, I have to remain neutral. So
it's not
I
a
can't
neutral
say either way.
stance though. That's like when people say like, "Oh, we've got to both sides."
No, it
this
is
Charlottesville
because
thing.
it's balance, isn't it? That's what because I was reading about the BBC, and they are hated by the left and the right. And
So does that mean
that's why that's actually the proof
like a seesaw.
that they're doing well. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
quite cool. That's pretty
because all the arguments from both sides, they are all equal.
They're sort of categorically and qualitatively the same.
That is right. Yeah, in both content and form and intention.
Yeah.
they are exactly the same.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so I see what you mean. Still though, crying out, I'm a very quiet person. You know that about me.
You don't really want to do that,
sort
do you?
of. People say, Isaac, I didn't even know you were here. You were so calm and quiet all the time. People say that. So for me, it's going to be this cackling, which does sort of fly in the face of the quiet, calm persona I just made up.
But you can cackle quietly.
I can cackle loudly.
It doesn't
too.
say cackle loudly.
I will cackle loudly.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
I will be cackling.
You're going to cackle your opponent into a fearful paralysis.
I do always think that because when I lived in southeast London and I went to school in Deptford, and every few months someone tries to mug you when you're out on the road.
Yep.
One of the things that always worked best was just being a very confusing group of people, and if someone just screams, then like people get really freaked out.
Like that Darren Brown
like,
thing. The Darren Brown thing about the wall outside my garden is not 4 feet tall or something. Yeah.
You just get sort of confused into wondering what you're even doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think a cackle could really catch up. Like, if I put myself in the shoes of a mugger, I don't know why I'm thinking of a mugger. I guess Mario very rarely gets mugged. But if I put myself in the shoes of a Goomba, and they only have one shoe, in fact, I think if Mario were, rather than to try and stomp me or attack me, a Goomba, one of the cool guys.
All right.
I don't think I'd be going after him if he just turned around and started like dribbling laughter out at me. That would freak me out. I'd be home.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
So it's D.
It's D. Okay, so
will you be putting that in there?
I've logged that in the algorithm.
Let's have a look.
No, it's all right. It's okay.
It looks like a Google Doc.
No, it's not that. It's not a Google Doc.
Oh, okay.
It's ridiculous. I have a Google Doc open.
Right. What's
because
that for?
because I've got some of the more information on here.
What?
So
did you copy that off the site or?
Yeah.
Why not just read it from the site?
Well, because they're constantly changing. It's
really that sounds very annoying.
It can be.
Sounds like a bad website.
One of the things about surfing is it's about adapting to new circumstances, and they try and prepare you for that by constantly having
just
different pages.
Text.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
It's actually time for the first throwback to one of the other characters in the game.
Oh,
and this
I don't understand why.
That's okay. It's just to kind of like give a broader sweep of the Mario universe.
I'm an expert on Mario. You know, I'm playing.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll know all about these.
Mm-hmm.
This one here is King Monkey Man, the original evil.
Oh, I don't know him. What's he from?
This ape was the first baddie that Mario ever faced, way back before he took on the evils of segregation. So, Monkey Man would lob tools at Mario, who would catch them and use them to defeat this awful primate. Nintendo later humanized the villain by giving him a son, who is very obviously a different species. The author's requests for further information have been denied at the time of publication.
That's classic Nintendo. They like to hold their cards
They
close to
really
their
do,
chest.
don't
And they
they?
used to make cards. So that was a real obstacle to their market penetration.
And manufacturing process.
Well, that was an interesting fact. I guess I haven't played that one. I thought I was playing through them all in order.
Yeah.
Because as listeners will probably know, they keep up with my Mario blog. I smashed out SMB 1, smashed out Lost Levels.
You were.
Smashed out SMB 2 just last night.
That
And now
was-
I'm
that was a
working for
painful
SMB
process
3.
for you.
I killed that big toad.
Question 2.
Yep.
You're getting ready for a big night on the town and want to make sure you've got your best fit forward.
Is this just me I am?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you wearing? The options are A, the same haunted apparel you've had on for centuries.
Apparel? Like
Yeah.
Aperol spritz?
Yeah.
Okay.
B, some dungarees that are at least bi-curious.
That sounds pretty cool.
C, a spiky helmet, but on your whole back.
Not that one.
D,
Cumbersome.
only your finest fineries and possibly your trusty golf club in case things get ugly.
Won't be bringing a golf club. That's super bougie, and that's not my vibe. And
No.
also, you can't take those into any club that I've been to, recently at least. I think the dungarees sound like a cool vibe. I used to wear a lot of dungarees in sort of preschool era.
Oh, okay.
I loved them. I had some from Oshkosh Bagosh, as it's known. And they're a great fun outfit, aren't they? Because you can play with the toggles when you're bored. You can pin things in the pocket.
I've been out with you quite a bit, like in the various
hitting
clubs
the club?
and bars. Yeah. And I've never seen you wear like dungarees. Is that?
It's mostly because, I'll tell you for why, I don't own any. And maybe that's now the time to like get
So
some.
you probably won't be wearing.
No, but I probably could, because I could just Deliveroo some.
And you, I think I probably know a place I could get you a spiky helmet, but on your whole back if you wanted one.
I don't see that being my look. I appreciate that, everyone's different, and for some people that's a sick fit, I would say, like hashtag sick fit. But for me, I think, given my like frame and my kind of vibe that I give off, I'm not a spiky kind of guy, right? I see myself as more of a
that's
more of
interesting.
an all-encompassing Taurus.
It's cool that you sort of see yourself like that.
Yeah, well, many people do, I think, is the feedback I'm hearing. People say, Isaac, you're like a big hug from God. They say.
I've not heard that, but that's good to know.
You should see my DMs, it's full of that sort of stuff.
So we're going for the bi-curious.
The bi-curious
Dungarees.
dungos. Yeah.
Yeah?
Let's call them dungos if we want.
Well, we don't ever have to refer to them again. So
Okay.
it's okay.
But if we were, dungos might be the way we'd do it.
You're allowed to say that, I think.
Yeah, we both can. That's cool.
Question 3.
God, I'm nailing this quiz.
You are.
I've got them all right so far.
We're all influenced by our past, and you're no different. What would you say is your most formative memory from childhood? Was it A, the time Grandma gave you a casual lick behind the altar just after Mass?
That never happened. You're not allowed behind the altar after Mass.
B, eating SpaghettiOs and seeing the name of God spelled out in your bowl?
I have actually done that.
C, the first time the moon ever spoke to you? Or D, using the bug-sucking tube to learn about mini-beasts?
Now, look, it wasn't a bug sucking tube. It was a bug blowing tube that sucks up the bug into a chamber.
So
for
it does
inspection.
suck bugs.
Yeah, but you don't suck the bugs.
It doesn't say that. It
sucks
says the
bugs.
bug-sucking
No,
tube.
no, but I feel like you constantly misrepresent this tube. It wasn't a weird thing to do. We were all doing it in the 90s. We were out.
It wasn't a
searching for
normal
mini
thing to be
beasts.
doing.
I'm
Because you
sorry
made it
that-
up in your own head.
Are you joking?
You made it up
could
in your own
find-
head as a cover for licking up.
Listeners, if you came up in the 80s or 90s, now I'm in the 90s category, but no offense to you if you're in the 80s. It just means
You're very
old now.
close to being
I'm
from the
really
80s,
far
aren't
away
you?
from that, really far. I want to know,
You're sort of
especially
30 in the next couple of years.
not
aren't you?
true, especially if you're in the northwest of England. I'm talking around the Wirral, Liverpool area, Cheshire maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Did you suck up bugs? Were you
Did
doing
you
that
suck
on the
up
weekend?
bugs using a tool you blew into?
It was a mini beast contraption that had been specially made, I'm certain, by the government, right? It must be. who else could be trusted with that kind of contract?
I think it was Turing.
Where you have 2 straws and you put one over the mini beast and you suck or blow, depending on whether you want the bug to
Go
come
in.
or go. And by come, I mean
You
into
blow
your
them
mouth.
up and suck
By
them down.
Go, I also mean into your gob. But no, we're going to the chamber and there's a magnifying bit on the chamber and you can see its beautiful colours and it learns you, I'll stick with that, to respect even the smallest of animals.
You were sticking a straw in the ground and sucking
All
up
things
worms.
bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, etc. It's spaghetti.
It's the spaghetti.
No, it's the moon. It's the moon. It's the moon.
It's the moon.
Yeah.
It's when the first time the moon ever spoke to you.
Yeah.
What did the moon say?
I can't divulge that, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay.
That's between me and the great.
Can you
big
divulge what
spooky
she said
circle.
any other times that she spoke to you?
I can show you my notes on the matter. Yeah.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
And mostly, it's more of a kind of conceptual thing. It's lots of drawings, a few stage directions.
It's time for another character.
Oh, we can skip it.
No, it's fine. It's time for another character. Let's have a little look here. Oh, and
We're not
this
really
one,
a gaming show though, so we don't want to like
This
get
is
bogged
no,
down
but this
in the-
is. You don't have to be a gamer to know about this one.
Okay, who is it?
Yeah, it's Louis, the friend of Dorothy's.
Louis. Oh,
Yeah.
which one's he in?
It says here, Yas Queen, we stan a progressive developer, and that's just what Miyamoto proved himself to be with gaming's first openly gay and borderline incestuous sidekick.
Whoa, those two are a real mix.
This guy got his own game where he sucks off ghosts or something. I don't know. I haven't really played it.
The green one. The green boy.
It doesn't say, but I get that kind of vibe.
Yeah, no,
I get
know
that
who
sort
you
of
mean.
vibe. Yeah.
He's got a fluttery jump, famously.
Oh,
jumps
well,
and he flutters.
that's explained, isn't it?
And in Smash, he will dive at you with his spinny head.
That's kind of camp, isn't it? I think.
I don't know. It's not traditionally what I've associated with.
But
the
like
term.
having a sort of floaty.
Is it the kind of
a
thing Madonna
floaty
would
jump.
do?
You know what? I wouldn't put it past her.
Seen
Yeah.
it.
So, that is good.
Okay, well,
they
that was.
have been.
It wasn't illuminating so much as it was sort of.
Well, it's just a little
confusing.
whistle stop tour, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you want to, really what you want is to get back to the quiz.
Well, I suppose.
Question 4. Mm-hmm. There's trouble.
How many are there?
10 questions.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
There's trouble afoot in the Mushrooms Kingdom, as the openly anti-Semitic mud monsters known as the Grumpas have ransacked a store and are holding the owner hostage.
The Grumpas.
Yeah,
Not familiar with them.
they're sort of. I think they're like brown. They're quite small.
Like a burger.
They sort of slide along.
They look like the hamburgers from McDonald's
I
cartoons.
wouldn't say so. What is your preferred course of action?
I've said I'll cackle at them.
No. This isn't. They're not attacking you.
No, but that doesn't bother me.
It's not an option here. You can't just cackle
Can I
at
use
them.
my wild card?
No. Unfortunately not, because there isn't one. Not in this quiz.
That's unfortunate.
It would fuck up with the algorithm. There is something of a wild card element later, though.
Okay, that's good, because I don't stick around unless there's a wild card.
Option A, negotiate. Crime is a result of chronically underfunded social services.
True.
B, smoke those little turds into the criminal afterlife.
What with?
You can choose, but it can't be a cackle, because that's just going to paralyse them. This is much more of a kind of like violent vigilante
finish
justice almost.
I pictured a big mallet.
Could have been,
Sort
yeah,
of smash it,
exactly.
Like the size of their whole self.
Yeah, like a real like whack-a-mole style.
And they'd
but-
be a very sort of paper-thin, flat version of themselves, like in a maths quiz.
and they might like go back up like pop.
No, they won't.
Never.
Not after I've hit them.
They stay here.
They'll be using goop.
C, join them. Destruction reigns,
if.
and you're looking to be the king.
No.
Or D, these mortal matters do not concern you, so you decide to spectate indifferently.
So there's a shop being ransacked.
Yeah.
Is there a good reason? Maybe I don't want to just jump to the side of of commerce of the shopkeeper. Like maybe he's a dickhead.
He could be, it doesn't say, but it did say here that they are openly anti-Semitic. They are quite evil.
That's true. So I'm getting the sense that they're not motivated by kindness.
It-
They're not like fucking up the shop so that the world's a better place.
It's really unlikely.
Then if I were a kind of deity in this universe, and I'm fine if that's what the quiz says.
No, you're not.
If the quiz wants to put me in that
It's
position,
not one
then
of the
that'll
options.
That'll be fine. Then I want it known that I'd be a vengeful one, and my smiting would know no bounds when it comes to these Grumpas. So it won't be the D option. It's probably gonna have to be that I just fuck them up.
You're just going to fuck
think
them up.
I'll
You're going to
just fuck 'em up.
smoke
Was
them.
that B?
You're going to smoke those little turds into the
You don't need
criminal
to repeat that
afterlife.
part, but yeah, I think that's what I'll do.
Oh, well, that's very good then.
Yeah.
Question 5. What is 7 times 31?
7 times 31. Do I have
Yeah.
any? Is there a multiple choice? element?
Yep. So
Is it
Is it A,
217?
213? Is it B, 207? Is it C, numbers are not your thing? Or D, 217?
It is, well, it is D, but I sort of like the chaos of not choosing the correct answer. I like the idea of being a character who's not bound by mathematical matters.
That's fair.
But I also, I don't know. Let's see. Where's my special die that I used in the
There it is. So you've got A, 213, B, 207, C, numbers are not your thing, or D, 217.
I think my character that I want to be is someone who just goes with option A every time.
Option A.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's
that
good.
down.
That's good because I think that was a really interesting answer I gave, and it shows that I'm a really cool guy. People will pick up on that.
I didn't say anything, listeners, but I did nod.
Yeah.
So there you go.
He did.
Another character it says here. Oh, that's good.
Oh,
This is Mario saw the green-skinned pony.
Mario saw
Mario saw.
like a dino sort of thing, not like look what Mario saw.
Oh yeah, no, I suppose it is kind of like that, isn't it? Yeah, SAUR.
Yeah, that's normally what that means.
Yeah, I suppose that could be that then.
Like pterosaur.
Introduced to satisfy the world's demand for, quote, more in-game licking, Mario Saw uses his frankly disgusting tongue to help Mario do any number of arrestable offences.
Go on.
Able to produce eggs at truly incalculable rates, it is the author's recommendation that every last one of them be eradicated.
Wow. Okay, that seems extreme.
It's quite a firm stance that the author has taken,
Especially
isn't it?
given that the author also acknowledges their popularity and that they were only designed to meet a kind of need that the public had when it comes
The public
to the
can
tongue.
be wrong.
They can be, but should we just go around assuming...
The public voted a goddamn Cheeto into the White
You're
House.
not wrong, friend. High five on that. Yes. Fucking got on.
So,
That's good.
maybe
I didn't
the
think we were
author-
going to get political this episode, but
I
that's
tried
pretty-
not to, but, just vote.
What's not political
Just
these
vote,
days? Just
you know?
fucking sign up
Just
and
get out
register,
and vote.
guys.
Oh,
the
God.
GE started already. Early vote. Yeah, no, that's good. What about the fact that Mario Saw is canonically a tax evader? Do you know about this?
No, I don't. It didn't say here.
No, it probably won't, but I'm just bringing
Go
some
on.
extra knowledge to bear.
So Mario saw the green-skinned pony.
And one of the games that I don't think I've played this one. It's revealed that Mario Saw does everything in its power to avoid paying tax.
Wow.
That's just good to know.
Just
isn't it?
another of the crimes that he does, because he doesn't want to contribute to society.
He doesn't want to contribute to a society as fucked up as the Mushrooms Kingdom, I guess.
Yeah, there are a lot of problems.
Yeah.
There are a lot of problems.
All the kidnapping is where
Well,
I'd
yeah,
start.
that's a really big one.
Lack of anything that isn't just a level.
Now, because of all of those horrors,
Yeah.
all of the problems that are there, everyone in the Mushrooms Kingdom is pretty busy.
That's true.
But it's important to make time for matters of the soul.
Yeah, I agree.
In terms of something beyond this tangible world, what are your thoughts? Is it A, that every part of your life is imbued with the presence of God?
Yeah.
Is it B, that yours is not to decide what can and cannot be, merely to experience?
Yeah, it's that too.
C, you cannot wait to suck Satan's big scorching dick?
It's not that one.
D, you are certain the soul exists, but more certain still that it is doomed to this world alone.
Wow, okay. That's a depressing one at the end there. Read me B again.
B is yours is not to decide what can and cannot be, merely to experience.
I like that one because it sort of doesn't really even slightly answer the question. Which I feel like my character is going to be so wise that when my character
Enigmatic.
speaks, people are like, oh, okay, cool. And then they're like, what the fuck did that mean? Write it down.
You're an esoteric member of the Mushrooms Kingdom.
Deeply esoteric, may I say, yeah. Real Demambro levels of esotericism previously unconsidered. Yeah, I'm going with B on that one.
B.
I really like the cool guy that my character's shaping out to be, and I just know it's Mario. Because I know all of these traits are Mario's. I've seen him do all this stuff.
You've seen him. You've seen him walk straight past the chapel.
Yeah.
7. And here's a wild card for you.
God, this is it at number 7.
Please tell us about a time you were embarrassed.
A time I was embarrassed. Well, the only memory that ever occurs to me.
Sorry, I'm having to type this into the algorithm, so
Okay.
just bear with me a little second here. Go on.
The only memory that ever occurs to me is the shame embarrassment that I've told before of the time that in secondary school I did that thing that turned off my history teacher's computer. And then he came into the lesson and he'd prepared a whole thing. It's because I hadn't done my homework. He came in, he'd prepared it all, and he looked at the screen and he was like, oh no, all my work. And I loved my history teacher, Mr. Taylor, Dr. Taylor, I think he was, but he didn't make us call him doctor, which means he's a cool guy. And I thought, as I sat there, he knew, he didn't know it was me, but I knew it was me. And at least one other person in the class knew it was me because it was also them. And that was probably it. I don't know if embarrassment is the right term, but it was certainly...
It was a kind of
adjacent.
regret, like a public regret, I suppose.
I was embarrassed, like, in a sense that I was embarrassed of the person I'd become. Like, not with anyone else knowing,
and
but
that
just
is one of the
myself.
deepest forms of embarrassment, isn't
You can hear me tell a longer version of that story on almost any other episode of the podcast. Because it's the only memory I have.
Okay, that's really interesting.
How do you input that out of interest?
I don't know. I just type it in here.
Into
and the
what?
algorithm...
Is there a text box?
Sort of, yeah.
Can I just have a peek at them?
I wouldn't want to give it away.
Give away what? The input field?
Yeah, well, because some of the like results that are coming in live...
They're also in that text box?
No, but they're on the same page, and I don't want
just
you to
zoom in on just that bit.
I can't.
It's a Chromebook, I know how to do
Yeah,
that.
it's okay, I don't want you to.
Okay, well, you're being evasive.
Well, it's like last week where you wouldn't show me any of the other options.
I couldn't show you those because if you remember, my phone unfortunately did get locked.
No, you closed it. You closed the page.
Unfortunately, once it's locked, I've got that timeout feature.
You've sort of seemed to have changed your story a little bit, but
I think if you listen back, the knowledge will prevail.
It's another character.
Are you?
Oh, it's our penultimate.
Sure?
Yeah, it's our penultimate other character from the wider universe.
That's some blessing, at least.
And it's Froglin, the mushroom Tim Pool.
Okay, Froglin sounds a lot like Boglin, and it would be a shame for this author to be accused of being derivative, being a sort of hack.
I don't think it is.
No, I'm just saying, like, that is a shame.
Because Boglin itself is taken from other sources.
I've never heard anyone else use the word Boglin.
Yeah, well,
that's really
seen it
interesting.
written down, so that's interesting.
I think you saw it when I wrote it down.
I thought that you just found that anyway.
What?
You
why?
said that you just found that thing last
the story?
week. Yeah.
I found the story in the Altered State, yeah. But I found it like you'd find a shell on the beach. Like, who owns that shell?
Right, I see. Because it's a lot of the elements in it seemed like they were definitely taken from
what?
Other pretty like bog standard ubiquitous fantasy universes. So.
Oh, that's weird.
But I could just be.
Yeah, I think you're probably wrong. I think that's
well,
probably
it's up to the listeners, isn't it?
Yeah.
Forever,
our listeners call you a Boglin nonce on Twitter, so
only one listener did that.
I saw it a few times.
They've come to regret it.
I saw it quite a few times on the feed,
I would hope anyway.
On the TL.
Forever hiding under a hat of gargantuan proportions, here's
what?
The esoteric gnome. Now, you were saying you were esoteric, weren't you?
Yes.
So maybe there is some crossover here.
That's
the esoteric gnome has haunted every corner of the mushroom's kingdom for decades. It's an open secret that Froglin runs the black market, hence his position as purveyor of rare goods. He can eat, but he chooses not to.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Because, why would they write that into the game? Because it presumably can't feature as a mechanic.
No, it doesn't.
Like, unless he keeps popping into levels being like, I could eat that, but I choose not to.
Well, here's the thing. Like, he's always got those shrooms to sell or to give.
He doesn't choose to ingest them.
Because they make you bigger, and he's famously Froglin very small.
Does he want to stay small for sneaking purposes?
I think it's more a principle thing. He just chooses not to.
It's really admirable, actually.
In a way, yeah.
Because his name, you'd assume he was a disgusting guy.
I mean, and cards on the table. Aesthetically, he is.
He's not a looker, I guess.
No,
conventionally at least. But they say, don't they, that to really see the world properly, you've got to
Beauty
be
is in the eye of the beholder.
A filthy toad.
Yeah, that is true.
So what's that got to add to me as just a fun fact?
Yeah, that was just a fun fact.
Okay,
that was
cool.
the penultimate one.
Right.
Question 8. 3 questions left. It's not every day that you get to meet your hero, but as a special birthday present to you, I've arranged for you to meet them.
Sometime.
Remind me again who it is I've arranged for you to meet?
I just did.
Is it A, Vernon Dursley, a middle manager at Grunnings, your favourite drill company? B, Inigo Montoya, the swarthy swashbuckler from your favourite movie, The Princess Diaries?
No.
C, Esther McVeigh.
That's a crime you've done.
An evil witch you used to go to school with and had a big crush on. Or is it D, Bulbasaur, the smiling plant-based monster who would sing you to sleep as a baby?
Well, I guess one of the problems when you're writing a quiz that has to appeal universally, because
Yeah.
I'm assuming bigquiz.com, they've got like a huge audience.
It's, yeah,
Like fucking massive.
ever growing as well.
Yeah, well,
And shout out to them now, like, thanks for the quiz.
yeah, the only way is up, I guess. And maybe we'll get a free sort of surf spot out of this plug.
Yeah, probably not one of the Costa Rica ones.
Maybe the $55 one over Zoom, though. That
We
could
are
be quite good.
10 plus, so that's good.
We should be able to swim 500 metres plus without assistance, though, so that rules both of us out.
Oh, dear, yeah.
Fuck's sake. One of the problems, I guess, is that, like, when you're appealing to that many people, you kind of lose the specificity. So to me, none of the, well, at least 3 of them are people I have no interest in. Esther McVeigh, sure, she's at least around the Wirral, but so are a lot of cunts that I'm
Yeah.
related to, and they can all go fuck themselves. Apart from my grandma, shout out.
Grandma, if you're listening.
Imagine if that was the only piece of technology she knew how to use. That would be
Imagine if
very
this
good.
was her favourite episode.
Wow. Thanks,
God.
Thanks, Cecily. It really means a lot. So yeah, Esther, sure, we probably were around school at the same time, or at least a relative of hers, but yeah, that's not to be.
Yeah.
Now that last one, remind me.
Bulbasaur.
Bulbasaur,
The
I'm not
plant-based
familiar with
monster who
his-
would sing you to sleep as a baby.
I'm not familiar with his work, and I've never met that thing.
Oh. Well, he used to sing you to sleep as a baby. You might want to ask your mum about that.
I think that's just, they say that because maybe that's lots of people's experience, but that's not personally my lived experience. Because I have never.
I would maybe-
I do
I would-
not fuck
I would-
with Bulbasaur.
I would maybe just ask.
I do not want to.
You were small.
near
You didn't
me.
really have a choice,
It's
I don't
disgusting. So it's not that one. I think it's probably going to be Inigo Montoya, and I'm just going to hope that it's actually Mandy Patinkin and we can just chat about Sunday in the Park with George. 4 hours. And if it's not, then I'll get a good learning of swords.
Yeah, well, that's good.
I can help him find his dad, who's dead.
Oh,
So that'd be a shame.
maybe you don't want to. Question 9.
Mm-hmm.
It's Christmas time here in the Mushrooms Kingdom.
Do they have Christ in the Mushroom Kingdom?
Not necessarily, but they do have Christmas.
How is that filtered through?
It just
Like
does.
a memory bubbling up from a swamp.
A bit like how last week they have the train metaphor, but not trains, and then they did have trains. It's like they've kind of got the idea.
Yeah.
You know, it's also a bit like in Waiting for Godot, where they've got this kind of like ghost of a memory of things that sort of half exist.
That's cool. I didn't know there was that level of like narrative depth going on.
There's a huge
in Mario's
backstory
world.
that I've currently been
Are you working through
refused
the novels?
access to.
Okay.
But I'm working on it. So it's Christmas time here in the Mushrooms Kingdom. So you're probably busy decorating the toadstool
Yeah.
and singing all your favourite holiday tunes.
Sure.
But which is your absolute favourite?
Oh, where to start?
Is it A, Baby It's Ghouls Outside?
It's probably.
Is it B, Santa Baby, brackets explicit edition?
Oh.
Is it C, Jumping Home for Christmas? Or is it D, Fairy Tale Dragon of New York?
Wow. The author really fell off a cliff there in those final 2. It's got to be Baby It's Ghouls Outside.
Baby It's Ghouls Outside.
Because it combines 2 of my 3 big interests of ghosts and Christmas.
Well, there you go. Come on.
Oh, and Halloween as well, I guess.
Yeah,
Just
well,
tangentially
but
through the
ghosts
ghost
and
vector.
Halloween, they're kind of like a twin
It's like
interest.
horse
a
and
twin
marriage.
interest. Just before the last question, there's a final character.
Oh, I don't think we've got time for
No,
that
it's
one.
all right. We'll just squeeze it in. That's no problem
I've got
at
to
all.
go and do fitness time with my Ring
It's
Fit.
all right. Don't you worry. This one is Stromboli, the Fat Nonce.
I do not know that charm.
Yeah.
I do not know that tune.
Very much the yin to Mario's yang, Stromboli has been a registered sex offender since 1978.
Who's doing that in the Mushroom
A
Kingdom?
being of such evil deeds and reprehensible proportions, he is currently the world's leading argument that hideousness is a manifestation of moral defect.
Wow, Dickensian.
His teeth will be donated to a museum upon his death.
Has he signed up for that? Or has he said no?
That's one of the reasons he's allowed to be free. Is that on that stipulation he's agreed to that.
That's quite interesting. I didn't know that was a thing.
There's a
Are there
really
many other people who are partaking of that level of kind of legal
I believe
parlay?
I believe that he has a kind of almost anorexically skinny cousin whose bones are in a kind of similar agreement.
He's also an evil sort of guy. This.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. They're just donating whatever they can.
They have to, or otherwise they have to go to prison.
That seems fair.
There's a very kind of like bureaucratic authority. So
That doesn't
I hear.
come through in any of the media I've experienced, but I guess, like you say, I'm not an expert.
No, exactly.
Maybe
You haven't.
I'll
You're
learn
only
more.
on like the 3rd game, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
So.
It's the 4th.
Question 10.
Oh, I'm excited
And
to be
finally, there's nothing more important to you than freedom. And so I need you to look deep inside of yourself
Give me a
and
second.
answer me true. Is the Mushrooms Kingdom really free? A, for you, yeah, but you sit comfortably atop Mount Privolo.
Yeah, you
Maybe
bet.
it's not that way for all residents.
It's definitely not.
B, freedom of movement is certainly yours, but still, in a more eternal sense, you feel very trapped.
Yeah, they don't have freedom of movement either, because sometimes you can only go forwards.
C, honestly, you spend more of your time as a prisoner than you do anything else, but you wouldn't trade in this place for anywhere.
Wow.
D, you truly believe that the Mushrooms Kingdom is a place where everyone has the chance to make it, and you're going to try your damnedest to do so.
So that last one is like what Americans think of America for the most part. And although I feel like some of the more naive mushroom residents probably do feel that way, I'm talking about your shy guys. They think they're just working their way up to be Stromboli's wife, for example. I think that the more canny residents, I'm talking of your Birdos, your, what was his name? Louis the big green guy, your Peach, they know what's going on, especially Peach, because she's literally in that kind of ivory tower when she's not being kidnapped. To me, there is a lot of structural inequality in the Mushroom Kingdom, and it's not even necessarily like to analyze it through a kind of class lens.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's even to do with things like that. It's to do with the kind of fundamental confines of the world as it's been set up.
The code.
Like even the people who are at the top, the kings, right? The icons of iconoclastic power. They're constantly being, just now I was playing, he was transformed into a spider, a moth, a pigeon,
God!
an ugly puddle.
You wouldn't want that for anyone, would you?
And I just don't know if that's living. Is that freedom? It seems to me like what Miyamoto has created, inadvertently or otherwise, perhaps as a kind of sharp social commentary that we're the first to uncover, is a world that is a kind of funhouse mirror reflection of our own.
Wow, where instead of being trapped by a class, they're trapped by narrative acting as a kind of metaphor for
They're
class.
trapped by their own, the precepts of existence itself are inherently limiting. And I think that is Miyamoto's argument. He's saying that to be alive is to be imprisoned in a body, in a mind, in a place, in a time.
And I suppose that kind of auto-scroller idea of the like
That's time, isn't it?
ceaseless.
Yeah, that's entropy.
That are kind of like grinding, monotonous millstone of circumstance. As
Until you
Plath
get
would put
a
it.
one-up. And what's a one-up between friends? It's just another tunnel to death, isn't it?
It truly is.
Just kicking the can down the road.
So of our
So
four
which
options,
of the options was that?
so,
E?
it didn't appear. So you're going to have to probably just pick one that fits closest.
Tell me a précis again.
So A, yeah for you, but you sit on Mount Privolo, maybe not for everyone.
It's not that one.
Freedom of movement is certainly yours, but still in a more eternal sense, you feel very trapped. Honestly, you spend more of your time as prisoner than anything else, but you wouldn't trade this place in. Or D, you truly believe the Mushroom Kingdom is a place where everyone has the chance
I think
to
it's
make
probably got to be C. Because I think I'm taking it as an analogue for everyone there. I'm saying that everyone in the Mushroom Kingdom, as on Earth, is trapped, is forced to do certain things to participate in this great big carnival we call society. Am I right? Let's high five on that.
That's big.
I'm going to dab as well, just in case.
You might as well.
So,
Goodness me.
have you put them into the
Yeah,
algo?
I'm just going to pop the final...
It probably takes a while to
in.
process, does it?
You might want to
it's
just...
AI.
Yeah, if you just want to chat for a bit about some of your reflections thus far.
Well,
while
the quiz, it took me by surprise. I thought, at first blush, well, Declan's written this, obviously, and it's going to be one of those lazy quizzes that we sometimes do when we can't think of anything else. And then as we went on, I realised that, first of all, it had been written by professional surfers.
Exactly.
And that kind of... That's egg on my face, to be honest, because I have this unfortunate habit of pigeonholing people, and I think we all do this, right? When I see a group of surfers, I think they're like people who are out in nature. They're simple folk who just love chatting up with the waves and getting smashed onto the sand. They're not writers, but that's foolish of me, and that's, you know what, that's bigotry, because I've been taught that everyone contains an infinity of multitudes, and it's sad but also humbling, I suppose, to see, as question 10 did, that these multitudes are doomed never to be realised in perpetuity in their fullness, because there's only so much we can do, right?
That's really beautiful.
Thanks.
The results are in.
Oh,
you're going to get
that's good timing for those results.
You're going to get them in reverse order.
How does that work?
From
from my least.
From your least. From the least affinity to who you truly are.
Wow, I didn't know it did that kind of level of detail.
It's good. It's not a kind of cheap one like that one about what type of damn parts practitioner was I that you found.
Oh yeah, well I didn't do that one. That was the token did that one.
Yeah, but like when you went into the state and you
it's probably up there with the what kind of streamer you are quiz.
Number 1, you're least like Bruiser the Incorrigible Goblin, the spiky antagonist.
That's good to hear.
Thanks to his lust for vulnerable women and his thirst for holding them captive, this fat fella's been dubbed the Mushroom's Fritzl. But sticks and stones won't hold this angry tortoise down. Bruiser's a powerful, fire-breathing and tenacious guy, but definitely a poster boy for toxic masculinity.
For sure.
He has never, to the author's knowledge, stood trial for his crimes, which is either good or it's bad.
One of the upcoming expansions is called Bruiser's Fury into one of the remakes that they're doing soon. And it could be that Nintendo listening, and that could be a kind of the trial-esque.
Oh, wow.
Like
it's a sort of Nuremberg.
Yeah. Where finally, at long last, he's being held.
He's going to have...
He's been criminalising for 4 decades.
Yeah, and
not
finally
a word has been said against
his
him.
victims are going to have their day in court.
Yeah, I hope so. Fingers crossed.
Number 2, you're not very like Mario the Jumping Goon, everyone's favourite hopping galoot.
That's interesting. I thought I would be quite...
That's one of the powerful things about these quizzes. They show you things that you...
I guess.
Mario is the backbone of the entire franchise, and if it weren't for him and his shroom-eating, fire-chucking, turtle-genociding antics, it's hard to imagine the game would have been anywhere near as successful.
Well, it wouldn't have had anything on the screen.
You've got endless stamina and an unbreakable enthusiasm, but you're also very delicate and a total cop.
Okay.
Not everyone's cup of tea, but there you go. A flawed hero makes for more interesting art.
That's true.
Don't stop jumping.
Okay, I'll wait.
So you're not very much like him.
Fair enough, because you sort of... Well, the quiz painted him in more of a negative light than I thought.
Well, it's an honest quiz. It's not biased by the universe itself.
Fair.
You are somewhat like Boondoggle the Ugly Phantom, the spookiest member of the superb Mario Bros. Cast.
These guys.
This floating blob of yet-to-be-explained ectoplasm is one of the most recognisable faces of the franchise, given he's almost 100% face. An agent of chaos and sometime thief, Boondoggle is cursed to haunt the myriad castles of the Mushroom's Kingdom for eternity.
Seems to enjoy it, though.
Likely a punishment for crimes too unspeakable ever to be disclosed by Nintendo. Still, he's a great racer, and having no body has got to be something of a bonus, right?
For sure. Less to worry about. Just floating around.
Drum roll, please. You are exactly like...
Exactly.
Keira Knightley, the perennially kidnapped monarch.
Oh, yeah.
Before Pirates, there was the superb Mario Bros. Franchise, and she was the rarely seen MacGuffin. However, after a bunch of protests by the deranged feminazis of the militant left, Keira took more of a frontline role in later installments, and in the latest game, Nintendo's Super Mario remake of Homer's The Odyssey, she really showcased her status as feminist icon. Beautiful, beloved, and always growing, Keira has won the hearts of millions worldwide,
I didn't notice.
despite being largely tokenistic and a representative of the oppressive system that is hereditary monarchy.
Wow. So that's
go.
a kind of double-edged sword, I suppose, because sure, Keira is a fan favourite. She's a very difficult character to master in Smash, for example. Quite floaty, which I like. Quite flighty, which I like.
Yeah.
Quite great in every way. Born into all kinds of power, but not afraid to get down and dirty, stomping on groupers.
Well, and also not too afraid to be kidnapped.
Constantly, to the point that you have to assume that she and Bruiser have something
She's
going
got
on
a real
behind
kink
Mario's
going
back.
on that Mario's really just getting in the way
Mario's an incel is the problem.
He really,
There's a reason
really
that she's not
is.
returning the mushroom version of a phone call, which is finding her in a castle.
Yeah.
And so, the princess is in another castle.
Oh, yeah.
Weird. That's happened
All the
7
toads
times.
are having to like cover for her. Delay while she runs out the back.
Hold him off. Oh, here's the princess's number. Whoops. She sent you a letter.
What do you mean there aren't enough digits?
Wow, that's really reassuring to know that a personality is complex and layered, and let's just put it on record, excellent as mine.
As Kira's. can be reduced to yours. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking the other way, but I guess it works both ways. That's art.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
that is. Yeah,
That is art.
it is.
Nothing happened. Well, there we go. I've learnt more about me, you've learnt more about me, and we've all learnt a great deal more than we ever expected, especially on a podcast like this, about the Mushrooms Kingdom.
Shout out to bigquiz.com again.
Yeah, I can't thank you guys enough. And if you're looking for a surf report or camps, tours or lessons, then why not hit them up?
Yeah.
Because they've got places in Costa Rica and also it's just Costa Rica.
And Costa Rica.
Looking at it now, they just have said that word so many times that it's clearly an SEO keyword thing.
Well done.
I may have written this stuff in a past life. Well, that's all we've got time for on this free episode of That's a Shame. Before we get out of town completely, not like Daddy leaving to go and get cigarettes from the shop and then returning. More like Daddy going to actually get cigarettes and just coming back soon after. We'll be back next Sunday, of course.
We will.
I want to let you know a couple of things, and here's the first one.
Go on.
We've got a Patreon over at patreon.com/shamecity, and this week we've been blessed from on high with a showering of golden pennies from a Mario hero in the form of Lila Geist.
Wow.
Now, I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly, but who is to say?
Do let us know if not.
Thank you so much for Patreonizing us, joining the ranks of people such as Kangaroo, such as Tim, such as Mark, such as Ollie, and all of the others. That was all of them, I think. If I missed you out, awful sorry. Don't cancel. Alex! Yes! I got it just in time before I did a big error. Now, if you'd like to become a patron over at patreon.com/shamecity for the low price of $5 a month, you'll be getting 4 bonus episodes on average a month. Every Wednesday. One's coming out in just a couple of days.
That's pretty good. If you can't wait until Sunday for your next fix, and you don't fancy listening back to one of the old episodes because you've listened to them 2, 3, maybe 4 times
and
already.
Probably with a Christmas listen with your whole family.
Exactly.
You sit around the wireless and
then
Frosty.
$5 by Wednesday will get you access to not only that.
58 posts will be unlocked.
That's ridiculous.
A hell of a lot
That's
of
an
content.
obscene amount of content to see you through any dark times you might have ahead.
Yeah. And if there are dark times going on, then know that we're here for you. tass@shame.city. Get in touch. We do all sorts of requests.
And that's even if you are not a patron.
That's for anyone.
That is for
That's
anyone.
the TAS guarantee.
But we do prioritise.
We have a special line, which is Patreon plus TAS at shame. No, we don't have that really. We treat everyone equally, don't we?
We do.
We've got some other stuff going on, social media and that. Why don't you illuminate?
Yeah, so if you want to read some tweets, get some engagement, if you want to just chat to us, then you can head over to @ShameCityGang on Twitter. You can also go to shame.city/Discord if you like. Join us there and have a little chat.
We were talking about some real nonsense just the other day. Let's have a pop in and see what was going on.
Have a little look.
That's my little special room where it just tells me what's going on with Sondheim that no one else can see. We were talking about all sorts. Lego Star Wars, K-pop, whoever that is, Rishi Sunak, a bird. it's hella good down there.
Let me tell you, it's an eclectic mix of folks and of subjects. So
I've heard on the grapevine that if you are, and we're not ones for hierarchical distinctions and kind of arbitrarily like prioritizing people.
No,
but if you are a Patreon, you will get a cool pink badge on there, or your name will be pink or some shit. Now that's quite special.
Yeah, that is good.
Quite special indeed. Reviews?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because we had a couple, didn't we?
Yeah, we've got one just now, in
What?
fact. Yeah, not just now, but I mean the other day.
Yanking my chain?
I'm sure
Are you
not.
Pulling my leg?
I can't remember where I put it,
having me
though.
on?
Because if you remember, we hadn't got any for a really long time, and then we said it once, and a bunch of them came flooding in, which was really appreciated. I can't find this one now, but suffice it to say, it was
Isaac's
really
looking,
nice.
Was it 5 stars?
Oh, God, it was.
That's all we really want to know.
God, it was 5.
But yeah, if you want to do that, shame.city/reviews.
Love a visit to Shame City. 5 stars. It looked like 6 for a moment, but I realised that's because my eye went funny.
Oh, well, that's good.
I like to start my mornings off right with some breakfast and this podcast. I thought I owed it a review before I choked to death for attempting to eat while laughing this hard.
Wow.
I recommend you give it a taste. That's a throwback.
That is a throwback.
Go back to the beginning and don't you dare skip episode 3.5. It's always one hell of a show.
For those who aren't acquainted, very early on, we took the audacious step of doing episode 3.5.
A demi-ep.
After we had a big anecdote that needed to be told before that week's episode came out. And we released it, and no fucker on earth listened to it. People just they weren't ready. They weren't ready.
They're an integer-only crowd. I've said that. That's from September Moons of the United States of America. God bless you, everyone.
Wow.
Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. And to make your lives easier, and ours, I guess, by proxy, you can find the link to the review leaving process just sitting there in the notes of every episode in your podcatcher du jour. That's got to be it, hasn't it? Pass@shame.city. Email us any shit. We'll talk about it. We'll chat with you.
Literally anything you email us, we will talk about.
Anything at all. Until episode 175, which, I just sniffed the air and I can smell it's going to be a big one.
You can smell Bob coming down the road.
I've been Isaac. You've been.
I've been Declan.
Keep on stomping, Grumpus.
Bye, guys.
For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder, my new home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. Necessities, the bare necessities, the bare necessities of life will come to you.